What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Near Protocol today. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it, okay? Here we are. Near has been on a damn near impossible rally. Absolutely phenomenal, fantastic, from a low in February 6th, that is, the day that Bitcoin bottomed, to the high that you experienced not but yesterday. You moved up 252% in what has been an overall bear market for Bitcoin. That's phenomenal, man. And most of that move, or I should say a significant part of that move, happened within the last couple weeks here. 100% growth. Insane. What's also insane is the level of volume to back it up. It's absolutely immense. Now, you did see a lot of volume yesterday to sell off. You did. And what we're seeing today, I think, is decent volume as well, right? It looks like pretty low volume, but you got to remember where we are here compared to where we were. This is phenomenal volume still, and we're getting that here on this kind of spinning top right here on this candle. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to move higher, and I want to go over why. Okay, this is a bit of a superstition, and then we're going to use TA to back up the superstition. Okay, if you've been following my channel, you know that we pay attention to the Coinbase 1 hour gaps. For whatever reason, the Coinbase 1 hour gaps are almost just as significant as the CME gaps on the daily time frame, on the weekly time frame. Okay. That doesn't mean that this has to work out, but I am taking a trade position on this thing as a result of this. Just a short-term little position, just for funsies. There's a gap. There's a little tiny, oh so insignificant gap right here at about 00759. 007, or sorry, I say 00, my bad. 276. Talking about ZBEC with 003s. $2.76. That's where this gap is. Okay, $2.76. We look at this here from there to there. It's about a 9% pump. If you're using 2x leverage, that's 18% gains. That's phenomenal. In what is just a short-term in and out little quick thing. Don't bet the whole portfolio, but if you've got some trading positions you want to trade with, if you want to mess around a little bit, look, there's some gains to be had there. Even if you do spot, 8% is not bad, guys. You consistently take 8% gains. You do that once a week, twice a week. If you could do that even every other week, at the end of the year, you've got some decent gains in the bear market, man. Just take this for what it is. People make fun of me whenever I talk about these little moves, but man, there's a reason we talk about them. And here's the deal. It doesn't have to stop here. It doesn't have to stop here. This is just where the superstition gets us. If we look at the TA, there's some serious evidence that this thing's going to go above $3. And then just on a spot position alone, we're talking about 25% or more, maybe 20% or more. It might not go up to 318. Maybe it goes higher. But at least $3.10 is what I'm expecting. That's 22.22%. This all kind of goes away if we start closing days. I would say if we start closing days below like $2.45, $2, maybe even like $2.50. Let's see. We'll figure that out as we go on. But looking at this here on the 1 hour time frame, you can see that you're moving down. Actually, first you're moving up. You're moving up. You're moving up with volume, volume, volume. Here, you're moving up and volume's moving up. When you move down, there's a little bit of volume, but the volume decreases. It decreases. It decreases. And yes, down here, it decreases. Volume is starting to rise a little bit. It's still below average, but it is starting to rise. You can see here as we're curving. I do believe there is some upside to be had, and beyond just the volume profile giving us those implications, we look at the price action itself. We're finding support at prior resistance. You have a little double bottom here at prior resistance. I do think that we have higher to go, and at the very least, we're either going to get this lower high, a double top, or just maybe we get some continuation. If this thing continues from a high to a low, the expectation that I have in mind is that we go to the 1272 to the 1618 area, something up here around $3.14 to $3.55, something in that zone. This is the primary target area. This is why I believe we're going above $3. If we do, it's not. I shouldn't say that I believe we're going there. It's just a target area. Should we see new highs, that's where we would go, and it kind of comes in line with these higher highs as well, right? You can see just right there in this little pocket there. If that happens, man, by the end of the month here, we should see something on the lines of, let's see. I mean, it's the 27th now. I wouldn't be surprised. By the end of the month, we saw anything from a 22% pump to a 31% pump, 32% pump, something like that. 1 hour indicators, looking at the RSI, look at how bullish this thing is. Look at just how phenomenal it is. You know how it's bullish? I'll tell you how it's bullish. You don't get oversold at all. You haven't been oversold at all. But look at how often you've been overbought. This is the most bearish you've been. This is the most bearish you've been. And on the 1 hour time frame, this is a long time. In over 10 days. 10 days on the 1 hour time frame is a long time. Okay, that's like weeks on the daily time frame. Months even. This is the most bearish you've been. And granted, this is a pretty bearish move. But you look at it, it's pretty damn similar. That line's not completely appropriate. This move's a little bit bigger than this move, but it's pretty damn similar to this move. Time-wise, it's pretty damn similar to this move too, right? The RSI is shaping up, holding support at the oversold zone, not getting oversold, but it is getting overbought. Even if we reject, even if we get a lower high, I would at least expect that we test this overbought. So maybe we reject it there. We can get bearish there, and that would likely give us a lower high. But I can't help but think we're going to go up. The stochastics are suggesting that we go up. You're moving through here. You didn't stop at the 50. You're moving up. It's nice to see. The MACD was red for quite a long time. Very red for quite a long time. This is the most bearish that we've seen the MACD in about 5 or 6 days on the 1 hour time frame. That's pretty significant. The last time it was this bearish, we were at the low points here. The time before that it was red for this long, we were here and we moved up both times. We're flipping green now. When we flipped green here, right there, that was the beginning of this upward trending move. We flipped green here, that was the beginning of this upward trending move. And were they spectacular? Were they phenomenal? No. But from a low point to a high point, you moved up 23% there, which, hey, that's exactly what we're kind of calling for here at a minimum. Low point to a high point here, 20% there. A little 20% move from a low to a high. 20% move at least would get you, something around this high. Again, a lower high is possible. Now, the way that we would expect to see a higher high versus a lower high, how we would know if that's coming, is if we're moving up here and the volume is weak and pathetic, we're up here, okay, maybe we are about to go down. If we're moving up here and volume's coming in, right? If volume's building as we're building, we're starting to get some building volume as we're building, not spiking, right? If we spike, we might stop, but if we're building gently, softly, and then we get the spike at the top, that spike will likely bring us up here. If we have soft volume, lower high, double top, something like that. If we get volume building with this move, higher highs, probably. That ups the chances. It's not a guarantee. It never is, but it's probabilistic, okay? Of course, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You could go to death and destruction. This is why stop losses are in order. I think if we close the day below 245, really if we get below 245, 244, anything like that, I'd cut my losses there. 2x leverage, that's an 8% loss. 3x leverage is 12. That's kind of more than I'm comfortable with, but when you're risking it for what could be 20%, 30% gains, depending on your leverage, that's not bad. And if you're doing spot, it's even less risky. But make no mistake, my friends, NIR has had a hell of a rally. This is not the time to buy for the long term. It's not the time to buy for the long term. You do not want to do that. You should be very, very fickle with your position, okay? If it dumps and then you sell the low and then it pumps anyways, boo-hoo. They got you. They stopped you out. It went up. You would have been right if you just held, but this is not worth this, okay? It's because it will come back down. It will go back below $1. I'm very confident NIR will go back below $1 probably by the end of this year. Just depends on what we do ahead of time. 4 hour time frame here. We're looking at this. The RSI, we do have lower lows in the RSI, lower highs in the RSI. Lower lows in the RSI, but higher lows in the price. That's hidden bullish divergence, baby. That's good things. Stochastics are at the oversold zone, reset. The last time that we were down this low, we were here, and that was the beginning of this rally overall. The MACD is still bullish overall, even though, yes, you flipped bearish momentarily. You had some bearish divergence. This is what was making me think that this could be the top, and maybe it is. Again, this could be the top. We could get a lower high. It doesn't have to go to $3 or higher. But you've seen this bearish momentum play out. You've got a deep drive here in the histogram, the deepest drive. I mean, have you had a deeper drive? How long has it been, man? You haven't seen a deeper drive than this. I mean, F and A, man, all year. Yeah, you haven't seen a deep drive like this in a long time. You might be due for some upside. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a lot. It doesn't mean we're going to pump another 100%, but just a little bit of upside is what I would expect, is what I'm kind of calling for. Daily time frame here. RSI overbought, looking strong. Stochastics overbought, looking strong, and the MACD is bullish overall. I bet this chart tops off with bearish divergence. We don't have that yet, but if we start moving up, we just might get that. So that's all I got for you. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.